What's going on, guys? My name is Tyler Butts and we are live. So today I'm going to be working on my digital agency's website. I'm basically just going to be doing this, making it. We've got an hour to just start making this site here. I've already started on some things. If we refresh page, ignore this dodgy animation. For some reason it's being really weird. I have to build it to test it for it to look good. But it does work when you think it. There you go, this is what it should look like. There you go, that's it. All the wording is TBC, it's not finished, it's not finalized, all of this there. But this is what we're building. So I'm going to be building probably this ball animation. So these balls are going to be bouncing around the screen, bouncing off the mouse, interactable, you know, just something cool, something fun to use. And then the rest of this we'll probably build at a later date here. But I'm going to attempt to build this little animation now, basically. So inside of Visual Studio Code, I have a simple setup here, and essentially we have a index page. I have some CSS, some JavaScript. This isn't needed, so I can delete that. I can come in here and just remove the counter there, and yeah, there you go. That's essentially what we've got so far. A little Tailwind setup, super simple. And yeah, let's go back to this, and let's double check this. There we go. And boop, boop, and now. Cool. So this is what we're building. So I need to set up this ball animation. So far, I've got this simple logo in the middle of the screen. Logo, title, hero, banner thing in the middle of the screen. And to get that to work, you can see here we have a container, but we also have this canvas. Now this canvas is where we're actually going to be doing all the work, and we've got this balls canvas. So I'm going to create a new JavaScript. I'm going to call this ballcanvas.js or balls.js. I like that. And yeah, we could probably import that in here and then run it from here. So first things first, we want to export by default, export default class, and then we're going to create a new class. This is going to be called ball canvas or balls works, I don't know. And then in here we will just have a constructor that needs a few different things. We're going to need the canvas element. Would prefix after underscore. Really, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Maybe we should give this a width and a height as well passed in here, and then we're going to say this dot canvas is equal to our canvas. This dot width is equal to our width, and this dot height is equal to our height. Just setting up some default variables so we can crack on building what we built. And yeah, so we want essentially, so here's what I see happening, right? We're going to have a bunch of different balls. They'll just be going in different directions, bouncing off the walls, bouncing off each other. And also if they hit the mouse area, so near the mouse, they're going to bounce off that too. Just saying to basically add a bit more fun to it. I don't know how I'm going to work the collisions yet, but the first things first, I want to be able to spawn them at different sizes, moving at different directions at different speeds. So there's a few different things we need, and we'll probably need some ranges here. We'll probably also need a ball class. So let's create a new class called ball, and we'll create a constructor, and we're gonna need to know, are we gonna need its position? Yeah, I say we're gonna take in an X, a Y, a width, a height, width and height, or radius, because they're balls. We don't need the full width. So X, Y, this is just its starting position, and then do we calculate its velocity outside as well? I'm trying to think, do we encapsulate the ball as a random ball each time? Or do we have the ball as a ball that you can calculate into? we'll leave it at this for now. And then we'll say this dot x equal to x, this dot y is equal to y, this dot radius is equal to r. There we go. There we go. And then in here, we'll be able to create a new set of balls. Oh, also, ball count. Ball count. We'll call it count because it's a bit easier. But here we'll say this dot ball count is equal to count. There we go. There we go. So that'll be how many balls we spawn at once. Yeah, so we just want all of this in there. How? Yeah, it's so weird. Sometimes there you go. That works if I give it a hard refresh. Does it work every time? Yeah, so every time when you hard refresh it, but if you just standard refresh it, does it weird? Cool. I want to check the animation to work. So now we need this canvas to take up this whole, we want it to be the whole window width and height, which we will do inside of our main.js. So in here, we're going to import, and we want to get the default ball. So yeah, we can import balls from, and then this will be balls, hopefully, and that should just work. Then we should have access to balls. Balls.ball. Yeah, we don't need access to ball because it's going to be private to the balls. And this will be our actual class we use. Yeah, cool. So then in here, we can go down here. We need const hero canvas is equal to document dot query selector, and we want hero section balls canvas dot balls canvas, right? Oh. All right, so this should be good. Would you use any front-end framework? I'm technically using Feet right now, just to create this quick, simple system. It's pretty good. It's pretty straightforward. But yeah, I would use Vue. I might use React, but to be honest, for what I'm building and how I'm building it, I don't need much customization yet because this is just a one-pager. So I'm going to build it as HTML because it'll be quicker. And in the future, I'll probably use a CMS or maybe Nuxt with a headless CMS. I'll probably use WordPress as my headless CMS, and then I'll use Vue.js as my front-end framework once I actually come around to building all of this. But for now, this is one page, right? I need to get something out there just so there is something to look at. And then in the future, this will have multiple pages, and that's when I will convert this into a front-end framework alongside a headless CMS so I can manage the content. But for now, it doesn't need that much. It doesn't need to be that difficult. So we're just going to start with this. I hope that answers your question. All right, so we want to go down or up to this. And well, let's see if this works. So we're getting balls. We've got the hero canvas. And then on load, I think after this, to be fair, we want another set timeout. Actually, you know what? We don't. We're going to do this straight away. We're going to say hero canvas. Oh, no, sorry. Const balls is equal to, or balls animation. Design looks fire. Thanks, man. Balls anim for now. And this will be equal to a new balls, which is going to take our hero canvas. The width, so we need the, let's actually create a options here. Const balls anim args. And we're going to have in here, so we need the width, which will be window dot inner width, and then the height. Oh, height will be the window dot. Wait, is it client? No, yeah, inner height. And here we can just say dot. Actually, I don't like my naming structure already. This is the issue. I hate my naming structure. We're going to change this to be a const balls canvas width, and this will be equal, and then we want a const balls canvas height, or we can just do this and set this to be equals, remove that, delete that, and put that there. And that should and then for the count, we'll just say 10 to start with. And we don't need to do anything with this now, but inside of balls, we want to create a setup function, or this.setup. And we'll say setup is... Rockets, just a small question. Why won't you use GSAP for the animation, scroll trigger animations, also for some other animations? Good question. I just don't use it often. I prefer doing things myself so I can customize it as best as I can. And although these do have some pretty good customization, it does. GSAP is really good. I can do this myself with like a few lines of code, so I don't really want to add a bunch extra stuff to it without... I can basically, so from importing the GSAP library, it's going to add more bloat than I need. I can make all the stuff I want without needing GSAP, if that makes sense. This will be smaller from what I write, from what it creates. So this will be a smaller amount of content, if that makes sense. I want to keep the file size small. I want it to load really quickly. So I want to not use as many animations and stuff or libraries as possible, because I can write myself in smaller terms, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's go. This.canvas .width is going to be equal to our this.width. This.canvas.height is also going to be this.height. And then we're going to need to run something here to help this later on, but let's just see if this works. We also need a context. So we'll say this.ctx is equal to this.canvas.get context, and we're going to get the 2D context of this. We will definitely need this later, the context of the page. And let's just see if this actually done what we want it to do. Yeah, you can see it has, but it's wrong. Let's refresh and click here. Look, the canvas is there, but it's too wide. 1920. Well, for starters, that's wrong, isn't it? Oh no, wait, no, that's right, because that's how big that is. But then it's getting this, so because it has a scroll bar. How do we include get window width excluding scroll bar, please? Client width, isn't it? That is what we want. So yeah, I wasn't. Is there more? Can I see him? Here we go. I want to read this. Window returns the interior width of the window. In pixels, that is the window width. Windows layout viewport, that includes width off the vertical scroll bar if one is present. Cool. So how do we exclude that? I assume client width. It should say and similar. Outer width, inner height, outer height. It says it includes the width of the vertical scroll bar. Yeah. So it does include it. Client width. Tell me about this. It works on all browsers. That excludes borders, margin, and vertical scroll bars. Cool. So we want client width. And does the window have a client width, or is it only window.client width? Is this a thing? Let's just see. I think it's gonna come back null. Yes, 0. Cool. So we need to do document.body. Client width and And we do technically want the height, right? There we go. And the reason there's a scroll bar here is because that's there. So this should be 1, 2, 1, which is the header height. Yeah, I think so. Main app should be much bigger. Yeah, cool. So that's what we want there. So we wanted the inner width. I've been learning Vue.js for 2 years now, and your videos are hidden gems. Sorry, my chat is so weird. It's like at the bottom, and there's a heart like hiding half your message, but it says you're doing a great job, mate. Thank you very much, bud. I appreciate the kind words. Cool. So we got the canvas matching the height. We next up want to essentially get the balls appearing in place, right? So this is where we want to go back to our balls, and we want to basically create up we want to draw and so we're also going to need some other things. So we're going to need this dot dx or direction x or velocity x. Yeah, and this dot phi y, which would be the velocity y. Let's bring that up. I don't know why I did that there. We'll split this off a little as well. So this is going to be the speed they're moving at. Again, we don't need this technically right now. We'll calculate that later. We're going to need 2 methods in here. We're going to need a draw method and a update method, and we'll probably switch those around. I feel like that makes more sense logically. Update method is going to update the position. The draw is actually going to be what draws it to the canvas. Now we technically will probably pass in the context to this. We shouldn't need it for update because that's just variables. Context is where we're going to draw. And then we also need a draw in here and an update also in here. Now this draw needs to go through under setup. Once that's all set up, we want this we want to start maybe as well. So we're gonna, I know we have setup which we could use start, but I think we want to call start externally so we can call it from our JavaScript. So in here, I'm just gonna say get animate, or what is it called? It's animation, request animation frame. That's it. And we want to call update. And then we want to request animation frame for draw as well. Or do we call draw from update at the bottom? Because then that would continue us the loop. Or do we want to just make sure we get both? You know, let's try that. Let's go in here and we'll call this dot draw. Perfect. And then in here, we also want to say, it doesn't actually matter where it is, so we're going to say request animation frame this dot update, and this should also be this dot update, and this is dot bind. I don't think we need to bind anything actually right now, and this will get a timestamp, right? We'll probably need that later for people with slow computers to sort that. We'll come back to that though. Cool. And then in the context, so we're going to need a this dot balls, and this is going to be an array. This is going to be the array of all of our balls we create. So let's start up in setup and just say for let I equals 0, I is less than this dot ball count I plus plus. And then we're going to say let ball equal a new ball, which requires an x. We're going to say 10, 10, or, you know, let's say 200, 200, radius 30. We're actually only going to create one ball. That's why I'm hard coding this right now, and I'm going to hard code this in our main.js to 1. This will just allow us to test it so we can see one's being drawn. And then we want to update, doesn't matter because we're going to have it all set here. So in draw, we want to say ctx dot draw arc, or is it arc? This is where having MDM open would help. Canvas, context, draw, arc. How do I do it? Is it just arc? Yes, it is. Cool. Cool. So we're going to go there, and we'll say .arc. And in here, we want to say this.x, this.y. The radius will be this.radius. Start angle will be 0. End angle will be pi times 2. Someone tell me if I'm wrong there. And we want this false, correct? I don't know. And we'll say ctx dot begin path, ctx dot close path. Just as good practice, it's not necessary, I'm pretty sure, but we'll do it here. And we want to say ctx dot fill style. We're just going to set this to white since we want a black canvas for just right now. And then inside of draw, we want another loop, but we don't want it for ball count. We just want to say this dot balls dot length. And in here, I'm just going to say this dot balls I dot draw, and that should draw our balls when we get it. We also need to go here and say this dot balls dot push and ball, just so we add this ball to our ball setup. And then should we have a look? No. Do we have an error? No, it's probably because I've done something wrong. I've probably missed a step. Or this is wrong. Oh. Is it mathf or just math.pi? I do not see a ball on screen. Oh, and let's also just log the new ball. So one ball is created, and actually let's log that ball. So we get its radius, its thing, 200, 200. Let's change this to like 10. Oh well, no, we'll need it to be 60, 60. We'll figure out what's wrong with it. Please bear with me while I debug. This is all a part of it. So we have our balls. Are they being drawn? That's a good question. Oh, you know what? I am not passing in this dot ctx. Although that still didn't fix it. This isn't being called. No, this isn't being called. Update. Oh, I am a fool. I need to go into main.js and call ballsanim.start. And there we go, we got errors. That's what we wanted, at least we got there. Undefined reading thingy on line 51, which is this second one. I think this just needs to be this. Or this update.bind this. Request animation frame. Can we log this? So I think if we, or maybe we need to bind this. One of these I remember I needed to bind and I can't remember. Let's just log this update 51, which is, you're at 52 now. Oh, so it's just throwing an error for this. Let's log this update. Cool. So no. Oh, it knows this one's working. So that will be that function. So it is calling this, and then in here, undefined. This is undefined, so that is our issue. So if we bind this, there we go. But then we're still getting 52 undefined. There we go. That's being called many times a second. We just have to bind this back to itself. Now we just need to figure out why the ball isn't spawning. Draw is being called. If I remove this .ctx, we get an error. Good. And this .ctx definitely has a context, right? Well, let's log it. Yeah, it has a context. Remove that log, we can remove that log. That's all working. So why can't... It's got to be to do with my bloody maths here. End angle 2 times math.pi. Oh, 2 times... Oh no, wait, no, that's right. Maths time pi math 2 times math.pi and 0. So radius 0 2 times math.pi stroke. Ah. There you go. I forgot to fill it this whole time. And now we have a ball, although it's kind of pixelated. We'll fix that up later. But there you go. We have now got a ball on the screen. God, that was more painful. I forget the simplest of things. And there we go. So we've got that, and we can remove this update, and we can remove this draw. And then in here we need to get random ball positions. So let rand x equal. We need a random function here. We'll get a random between two floats JavaScript. Generate number between 2. I always get this random interval. Wait, no, I can still this. I should create a utilities function, but this is fine. Random flow, and then we don't need flooring. Rand flow. That'll do. Come up here, and we'll create a random float between 0 and this dot width. Then, we also need to minus the. We'll get to that in a second. You know. We'll change this to y and set this to height. So random x, random y, and this needs minus 15, minus 15. This should start at 15. Now the reason for that is the radius. Oh no, that's the radius. So this needs to be actually what that is. So I'm calculating in this what we need for the radius, because this radius means the center. So this position, random x and y, will be the center of the ball. So we need to calculate the actual center into our equation there, basically. And then let's go back to main and change this to 10. And there you go. We got balls starting at random positions. And we should never have a ball. See this ball? That is at the very, I can't click it, but this is at the very bottom of the screen and it cannot go any further. So if we didn't put that minus 30, this could have ended up. Actually, let's see if we can do it. I just want to demonstrate for you guys. We move this, start that 0, 0, and remove that. sometimes, see, no, that's not it. There you go. So at the bottom here, you can see this one down here is actually slightly off screen, and over on the right here as well. That's because we need to calculate the radius here. So obviously the middle point will never be off the screen, but everything else could be. So yeah, so now we need a random, let rand radius equal random float, and we're going to get the random radius between 20. You know what, let's have a look. What's our actual, let's have a look at this, because I like this. So that is 32, and that is 96. So 32 and 96. No, it needs to be half, so that needs to be 16, and we're going to say for 48. I think that's what we want. And then random radius. Oh, and then we want to set the 2 zeros here to random radius, and also minus that random radius from this for our balls. And there you go. We get random sized balls that are appearing on screen in different positions. We also need to kind of make sure when we spawn a ball, it doesn't end up on top of the other ball. So how would I do that? That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure. I guess we could I'm trying to think. What is the, I could basically just check the position and make sure it's far enough distance away between all of them. But for now, we'll calculate collisions later. I just want to get the balls moving on screen. Also, let's give them their true color. So we actually want to use this brand color here. And I'm going to go into balls, and we're going to just set by, we're going to hard code it for now, but in the future I might allow it so you can have random colored balls. There we go. And now we need some random speeds. Again, here, let's go down to here, and we're going to pass in the velocity this time, phi x, phi y, and we'll set this equal to phi x or phi y, and we want to make sure, I guess we +1. All right, so down here we want let rand phi x equal a random float between -2 and 2. But the issue is we don't want 0, so we need to plus or minus 1. There's 2 ways I could do it. So I could get a random float, and I can just say, let's get random float between 1 and 2, right? Or you know what, let's do it 1 and 5, just so we have a big contrast to start with so we can see the difference. And then we want to times this by random float. And it's not random float, we're going to be 0 and 1, and we're going to check if this is greater than 0 and 1. 1 second, we're going to use ternary here. Oh, I've somehow put that on a new line. So we want to check that, and it'll be, so if it's greater than 0.5, set it to -1, else 1. And then we can pass this in as our random phi x, and then let random phi y equal rand, well, we can just copy this, and, well, it can literally be the same. It just needs to have a new random. And this should, now let me explain this. What I'm doing here is I want to get a random float between 1 and 5, but I want there to be a chance that it's not 1, it's negative, so it goes backwards, right? So I want it to be able to go backwards and go that way, and also 1 to go that way. So I need it to be negative. I need it to be random. So by doing this, I'm getting a random integer between 0 and 1, and I'm checking if it's greater than 0.5. If it is, then it's going to be going in the opposite direction, backwards. Otherwise, it's going to be going forwards. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys who are watching. Apologies if that does not make sense. And then inside a ball, we need to go into update, and we need to say this dot x is plus equal to this dot phi x, and this dot y is plus equal to this dot phi y. Now this is going to send some of these off. Well, these are all going to end up off screen in a minute because we haven't got collisions with the edge of the screen. But we'll come back to that later. And that way we should be able to go. We're going to have an issue here, and I'm not going to fix it. I'm going to let it happen, and I'll show you what happens so I can fix it for you in a minute. But we want to go back to this, and we want to go to this.update. We want the same loop, but this one is just going to say update. And we don't need a CTX for this because it is. And there you go. You can see the balls are moving in random directions, but they're dragging across the screen. They're drawing lines, which is a cool, to be fair, it's a pretty cool thing, but that's not what we want. We actually need to clear the canvas, and that's what's going to happen in our draw method at the top. We want to say this dot canvas, or no, this dot ctx dot clear rect, and 0, 0, this dot width, this dot height, and that should. So there you go. We get balls shooting off at random directions, but the problem is they're going off screen. So now I need to figure out how we're going to be doing our collisions, our collision detection. So do I do the collision detection in the balls and make sure everything is, yeah, you know what, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go under update. We're going to have collision detection. And we're essentially just going to loop for the balls again. And we're just going to say this dot ball or this dot ball is equal to this dot ball. And collision detection, collision detection. I don't know why, it just felt weird to have that. Cool. And before we do draw, we want to say this, or no, maybe before we move. No, this dot collision detection will also be called. So inside of our collision detection, we want to check the ball, say if this dot ball dot x is less than this dot ball dot radius. I gotta do math in my head. So when this comes over there, if the radius is there, if it's less than the radius, yes, or equal to. Or, so wait, there's a lot of things we've got to do here. So 1 second. Or if this dot ball dot x is greater than or equal to this dot width minus this dot ball dot radius, then we're going to say this dot ball dot phi x is times equal to 1, and that should flip. It should flip its direction. Oh, no. Oh, this shouldn't be this ball. This should be let ball. And we can remove the this dot from pretty much all of the ball. It still didn't work, but log collision. Yeah, cool, that works. So it comes in here and we want to say ball.phi(x) is equal to ball minus ball.phi(x). There you go, they're bouncing off the edges. Look, boing, boing. And they don't go off screen, do they? So that, yeah, perfect. So we now need to do the same thing, but we need to check the Y. So that's the same there, that's there. This should be height. And then this be phi y and phi y. And there you go. We got the balls bouncing around. Pretty simple. But the real problem is they're still not bouncing off each other. Now that's a much harder thing to achieve, to figure out. And we need to use the distance between two balls. And if the two balls are too close, then we want to reverse wherever they hit in the opposite. Well, basically, as soon as they collide, they're going to reverse their collision. That could cause some weird effects, but let's try it. Let's start in here. So now we want to say, so we've done this. We've looped through the balls. We now want to check if balls collide with balls, and this is going to be J. And now we're just going to say let ball 2 equal this dot balls J. And then we're going to say if ball 2 is equal to ball return or break. No, return. Otherwise, log this dot ball dot x this dot ball dot x and no ball dot x and ball 2 dot x. Wait, what have I done? Yeah, I've broken the I don't think return's right, I think it's continue. Cool, and now what we want to do is we need to get the distance, and to calculate, how do you calculate distance? Calculate 2D distance from vector. No, I need to know how. Can we know how? Calculate distance between 2 points in 2D space. That's what I want. It's x2 minus x1 and x. Of course, that doesn't matter which way around they go. Math pow a dot x minus b dot x 2 to the power of 2 plus math dot pow dot square root of. I want the formula itself, the distance, yes. So it's the square root of y minus y to the power of 2 plus x minus x to the power of 2. Cool, okay, I get it. So we want to say if, well actually we want to get distance. Let distance equal, and in here I just want to do, so math dot square root, and we want to get the square root of math dot pow, and this is going to be ball, oh god, and does it matter which one it is, y2 or y1? I don't think it matters as long as we do it the same way both times. So we're going to say ball 2 minus ball 2 dot x or dot y minus ball 1 or just ball dot y, and this will be to the power of 2, right? And we want to add that to the same thing but for x, right? Yeah. So x, and then I want to log distance, but we'll say we're going to actually do a check. If distance is less than 50, log ball for that. Okay, wait, alright, now let's just do so. Ball.x. Obviously the 50 is just, wait, no. So we need to get, so we've got that, but we also need to calculate, so we've got the distance, but we also need to calculate the radius, and that's going to be the distance we have to figure. So we're going to say is less than ball dot radius plus ball 2 dot radius, and then log collision, and then we want to say, well, we want to do this for each. Do we flip both or flip what? Well, we'll flip both, and then we're literally gonna. I don't see it working. It's saying collision. Let's lower the amount of balls. Let's just make 2 balls. Oh god, they're never going to collide. Let's make 4 balls. Collision. Now the issue is it flipping too many times? I'm missing something and I cannot figure out what it is. It is distance math square. That's getting the right distance, right? Here's an idea. To test this, we're going to say yeah, they're colliding properly down here, but why are they not colliding? They're not reversing like they should be, technically. See, that collided, but no reversed. Is it because this needs to be, and I have an idea, before? I'm trying to figure out. I think what's happening is the ball. No, because it would still be random whether it reversed or not. Ball 1 and ball 2, yeah. Let's try reverse 1 for now. That collided. That collided. Wait. Alright, let's put 10 in. Why is that working? Like, both are reversing. Although they're reversing in a weird way. I know what I need to do as well. So, see, when they're colliding, they're actually just flipping directions. They're not technically bouncing off each other. If 2 balls come like this, they could bounce like that. But if they come like this and they hit like slightly on the, like that, they could bounce like that. Boom. So we need to get the angle that they get hit and apply that to the collision. I don't know how to do that right now, so what I'm going to do is... And I don't know why this is working. Why is this working? It shouldn't, technically. But it is. So we're just going to say here, apply angle of collision to the direction of the use brain tiler velocity. Cool, guys. There's one. All right, so we got. And also, I don't like how fast they're moving. And I know I've got this all hard-coded, so we're going to change this to 3. We also want to create like a ball around our cursor, but it's not actually a ball, it's invisible. And when they hit it, they bounce off it too. Yeah, it's so weird how they hit, because when they do collide, they just flip directions, which sometimes causes some weird artifacting. Like, look at it, it looks kind of weird. But they are bouncing around, which is what we want. When they bounce off the walls, that's fine, because look, they do hit off the angle. So whatever their direction is, they just bounce. We need to include that calculation there, but that's working. That's working. We're good there. Let's remove this log, and this is a to-do. All right, guys. So it's been an hour, and I need to hop off because I gotta go cook dinner. But guys, it's been a pleasure streaming for you guys. Thank you for all the people who left a message in chat. I enjoyed speaking to you, and yeah, thank you for all tuning in. In the next video, next stream, if I do one, I will get this sorted out. We'll get some better collisions, and we'll start on the next part of the actual website. So far, this is what I've done. If we remove this and refresh the page, there you go. Oh my god, those two are stuck in a battle of death. But yeah, this is the first bit. The next bit is going to be this area, and we're going to get this little bit in with all of these titles and this little grid system. Should hopefully be pretty good. So this is what's going to come in to the next video when I start working on it. So guys, if you liked it, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button if you're new around here, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.